Hey, welcome to the Learning to Lead podcast. I'm Paul Doherty, your host, and I'm joined today with Pastor Mitch Summerfield in what town and what state are you in?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Word of God Fellowship Church.
Word of God Fellowship Church. His story is so powerful. We're going to talk about leadership. We're going to talk about really transition leadership. He took over from his father's ministry. Give them a quick backstory of how you stepped into this large ministry and this role and what you've been walking through.
Well, I honestly, Paul, it's let me first start by saying how thankful I am to even be a part of this Victory Conference in 2018. When I first saw the clip on social media, I said to myself, I'm going to be there, and I told my admin to make sure it's on my calendar, so that way when
I'm honored you came.
Yeah, man. So I saw it about 2 months ago, and I was just like, I'm going to be there. When Bishop Jakes introduced us, naturally our fathers were pretty much in the same circle, in the same movement, Word of Faith, non-denominational, and we never knew each other, of course.
Yeah.
But when Bishop Jakes introduced us, I said, man, that's a guy that I need to learn from. And I'm not intimidated by learning from someone that is younger than me, but has also gone down the road that I'm now going down now myself. And so I'm thankful to be sitting here with you and being a part of this conference, man. I'm serious. And I would say, first of all, that my father started a ministry, and it started in his home. And he and his wife, my mother, founded something huge. And it started from something small, and it grew over the 20, 30 years that it took to grow it. But finally, last year, my father got sick, and he went on to be with the Lord on July 2nd.
Was that a pretty sudden thing?
It was very sudden, because at the time, my mother was sick. My mother was sick in 2015. And when she got sick, we began to immediately just start taking care of her and praying with her and, making sure she's getting everything she needed. And it went through a time where in 2016, they told her that she wasn't going to make it through the night. And there was a surgeon that came and agreed to do a surgery that sustained her life for another 2 years. And so we were moved by that. We thought that we were going to see some better days coming after that. Well, during that time in the hospital, my father began to have some major pains, not knowing where they were coming from, not knowing what was going on. So he got sick, and we found out that it was something terminal, and a very short time after that, he went to be with the Lord. So we thought it was Mom that wouldn't make it, and turned out that it was him that didn't make it first. And about not even 60 days after that, my mother went to be with the Lord as well. So after that, July last year, I was named senior pastor of the church, and took it over and became the CEO of all of our entities and that sort of thing. And that transition. And
you guys have schools a lot like Victory.
Yes.
You have a kindergarten through 12th grade Christian school.
And a college that we started about 2 years ago.
Wow.
And it's small, but we wanted to have a bridge for our students graduating from college or from high school to be able to go straight to, a collegiate level and get some classes. They want to go be a pastor. They want to be a praise and worship leader, whatever, youth, whatever mission, whatever they want to do. They can do it.
Very similar.
Right here. Right. Very similar. So I said, when I found out about this conference, I had to be here because I wanted to see what all you guys are doing to be able to enhance what we're doing as well. So I don't like reinventing the wheel. If it's already been working, none of us invented anything.
I know we're all getting ideas from other people.
Absolutely. So taking over, the transition has not been easy. It's really not been easy. It's still been fresh. And
how fresh is it? 1 year since you've been doing it?
1 year since I've been doing it
wow.
as the senior pastor. I was the COO and associate pastor for 7 years prior to. So, but nothing like this. This is totally different, really different. But I'm thankful because I'm learning a lot as well in the process.
Yeah.
And it's making me really man up. You know.
Come on.
Really man up.
We have really two choices. One, get up and do it,
Yes.
or two, stay down and be defeated. And you chose to get up and do it.
I did. And it's a challenge every day. You know, every day you have different emotions. I mean, both of my parents left in the same year, same time. The people that have raised me for 38 years of my life ran the ministry together as a family, all of my siblings, a lot like you guys.
Are you the oldest of your siblings?
I'm not. I'm the second oldest, so I have an older brother.
Did those guys help?
All day, every
your
day.
siblings?
So everybody's full-time employed.
Was it tough on them to accept you as their new senior pastor?
Because they all wanted it
embraced
to be me instead of them.
Wow. They're like, you handle the pressure, you fire people, you handle all the stuff.
They want to help, but they didn't want to be the one that, you know, that the responsibility lies on.
Wow.
So
that's great that they're helping you though.
Yeah, they're very, very encouraging. I tell them all the time, you guys are the best encouragers in the world, because they're there every service, they're there every meeting, they're there every
just makes
every
you
rehearsal.
like emotional thinking about the people that are there for you.
So as I watched you guys do your family panel discussion, I just envisioned over the years, like, because we would do these faith conferences every year, and we would do the panels with the family. We're sitting up there together.
And you're going to be doing it again.
I believe it.
Soon.
I believe it. Really soon.
Come on.
I wanted to take this year and just get, I didn't want to do any big conferences this year, because I wanted to take this first year to kind of get really rooted and grounded. Let the people get used to hearing my voice.
Yeah.
You know, after serving and listening to Bishop, my father, for 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, they got used to hearing his voice. So rather than me trying to do everything that we would do in the normal when he was there, I said, let me take this first year to really get rooted and grounded, let everybody get used to hearing my voice. Every Bible study, every Sunday, hearing my voice, and just focus on that first and let everybody get used to it, because it was a blow for everybody.
Yeah.
So as I'm healing, as I'm grieving, as my family is healing and grieving, the church, who are so attached to them, the members that
you're having to lead them through healing while you're also leading yourself through healing.
Absolutely. So being here is part of my healing.
Man.
Being here is part of my grieving. So I get to be away and look and watch and see and watch you have to do all the work.
Man, you know, our stories definitely, we've talked about that. I think for those that are watching, listening, loss is part of life. And you don't realize that until you actually walk through a loss of someone so close to you that you can walk through loss of a friend or a church member that you're connected to. But when you walk through the loss of a parent or a brother or sister or your spouse, it just changes. It makes it all the more real. And it also, like you said, it really leaves you with kind of a realization that life is short. Make the most of it. You got two options: get up and go, or stay down and be defeated. And, you know, Mitch has decided to get up and move forward the ministry. And, man, just as your friend, as a co-laborer in Christ, like,
you're my brother, man.
No, I'm honored. I'm excited to watch where you take the ministry. Someone told me when I stepped in, Paul, you're going to go further than your dad. And when they said that, I was like, stop. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He was like, I could never get that close. And yet
was your
God,
hero. I mean, like, you know, so you never think that you can exceed your predecessor. You know, you don't really think like that. Because they did it.
And you don't think, and there's a lot of different ways, because you could go, well, maybe on this side I could get close to that, but on the heart and the level of just who he was as a man, and that, it's like, I don't know if I'll ever reach that.
Right.
But God, I truly believe God has helped me to get to a point of believing that I can, and with you as well, believing that you will be just as strong as a man of God as your dad was, and even stronger, I believe, because I believe that what's happening right now is this whole Elijah to Elisha, you know, and you're going to carry that mantle stronger. And I think too, you know, who knows what God's going to drop in your heart to birth for the ministry. What are some things you're learning right now as a leader, like even in the last month, that you've had to make some tough decisions on?
I think one of the biggest things is this guy here is funny, man. so I mean, one of the things that I think for me that has really changed the trajectory of my mindset is the relationship that I have with the Father. I've had to get in that secret place so many times.
Wow.
Your wife and I believe your brother's wife was talking about deeper.
Yeah.
Deeper. And there's sometimes when that deeper place, that's God calling you.
Yeah.
He wants you to get deeper and deeper with him. And I've had to go in some deep, dark places just to really, really, really get my mind together to even be able to preach and minister on Sunday. And I'm in a series right now. We just started it this past Sunday, and I'm uncovering some things with Paul, with my favorite disciple, Paul.
Come on.
It's entitled. The series is entitled "Sink or Swim," and
that's good.
The thing about sinking or swimming, and I don't want to give it away because I'm uncovering some things probably in the last part of the series.
I love it.
This first Sunday, the first part of this series was entitled "I Should Have Listened." And there's so many scenarios where I realized that I should have listened.
Wow.
In the book of Acts, chapter 27, and we dealt with in verse 9, that they were all on a ship, and Paul was in chains. He was locked up, and he was traveling. And Julius, Julius was the centurion over the ship that time, and they were on the way to Rome, and on the way to Rome, they were getting ready to travel through the Mediterranean Sea. Well, Paul already knew that's the worst time to actually be traveling by sea in the Mediterranean Sea. And he told them, he said, listen, this is going to be a dangerous time. I would advise that we do not go, that you do not go. But how many people have always been scared to give a word that they should have given, need to give, but because of their condition, that because of their past failures, because of their past, mistakes or flaws, that they shouldn't be the one talking. But Paul's condition was he's been changed, and these people weren't listening to him.
That's really
good. And he
good.
knew, he had foresight, he had perception. Why? Because he had been visited by an angel prior to. And I'll just leave it at that. I just think that we have a responsibility as believers and Christians to help those not sink, but actually swim. Keep on being in faith. And you're inspiring me just by seeing your father passed 9 years ago, and to see you still pushing, and to be in the experience last night and see it all come to fruition, and your fears become now success. Your fears now being turned into full fruition and manifestation of what your fears were before you started, and to actually see it last night in live and in color. I see you on social media, and we always communicate or whatever on social media, but to actually see it live and in color, was, and I felt the weight on you. Like yesterday, last night afterwards, when I saw you, I know that feeling, like after it's over,
tired.
it's really, it's like, wow, did this just happen tonight?
Oh,
like,
man.
This is so
What are we doing?
massive.
Yeah.
And you got to do it year after year after year after year. And but it's a drive, you know what I mean? It's ambition, but deeper than that, it's a relationship. And what I've learned now in this first year of me doing what I'm doing is I've got to have a more sincere relationship with him. He will speak to me about what to preach, about how to pray, how intense to be, how whatever I need to be.
Good, man.
He will speak to me in that moment of that relationship and that deep place that I am with him. So I'm thankful. That's the lesson that I've learned this year. I don't know how many more I'll learn this year, but that one right there, it speaks volumes, because you cannot do any of this without a relationship.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't care how gifted you are. I don't care how anointed, how well you speak, how you interpret the Bible. It does not matter, because I've seen so many people be extremely gifted, but down the toilet, after a certain amount of time, because why? They didn't have that relationship that they needed with God.
That's so good.
Yeah. So that's to answer that question. That's what I believe for me, what I've really had to focus on. Tremendous.
And I think at the end of the day, like a healthy relationship with God is going to produce all the results that leaders want in their ministry, in their business. When you're right with God, you're hearing from God and in tune with God, you're going to be making wise decisions with your money. You're going to be making the right decisions on what to preach and what series you're supposed to do and who you're supposed to hire. You'll have that peace, or who you're supposed to fire or who's really with you and who's not. But even Jesus, who was as close to his Father as any of us, still had a Judas on his team. Still had situations that, rocked his boat. But I think the relationship with God is so, like you said, it's the most important thing, because even when you walk through betrayals or hurts or people, walking out or doing whatever, you have a sense of peace and security, knowing, man, I'm going to be okay. God, you've got my back.
Yeah.
And you're covering me on that situation. So
you said something too in the session, relationships. Being able to be surrounded by people that can make things easier for you.
Yeah.
Because they've been through it.
Yeah.
And they can really not necessarily hold your hand.
Yeah.
But be a covering. The Bible says, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety. And I believe that once you get to a place where you now have that relationship with God, now you can be open to the right surroundings, the right relationships that you need to have around you in order to get where you need to go. And God is taking me into some unique places, and he's actually giving me favor, and allowing people to use their influence to help me in a major way, just so that it's not harder for me. It's a little easier. It's never going to be easy, but it may be a little easier, a little lighter, so that now that my journey is sometimes more enjoyable than it is, dreary and doomy, and I think that's where we have to be at in life, and I look at you as one of those people that I can call on. So don't get scared, man, when I call you and tell you, hey, listen, I'm on the way to Tulsa. I'm just coming just to sit and just talk with you. And
we need each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
That day that we were sitting at the table with Bishop Jakes, and he looked at all of us, and he said, Mitch, Paul, Keon, and he kind of looked at a few others, and he said, you guys need to know each other. Yeah. You need to have a network of relationship and trust.
Sure.
And I think, man, I just think it's important in this day and age that we're connected with people that are even outside our circle of who we're used to being connected to.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I first stepped in, I was trying to find my circle. I was like, my dad and mom, they ran with Kenneth Copeland and all these people, Creflo and those guys. And I was too young to run with them. They weren't bringing me into their circle. So then I was trying to figure out, well, I'm not connected with Judah Smith. I'm not connected with Carl Lentz. I sort of knew, like Jonathan Stockstill, some of these younger other pastors, but I had to be intentional to just go, you know what, Lord, whoever you connect me with, even if I'm not used to being in their circle, I want to learn, I want to grow, and I want to build those friendships. So I think that day when he said that, it just reminded me, like, continue to build a circle of people that maybe your parents and you have never connected with in that circle. So I think it's really healthy, man.
Yeah, it was God ordained too. I mean, because honestly, that day that we met, I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to fly back home because my sister had just had her first baby, and we didn't think she was going into labor then, but she did, and so I needed to get back. And then she told me, no, don't worry about it, stay. They're saying that we're going to probably be another day or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was able to stay. And then there you go, I met you, and here we are today. So
come on, man.
It's definitely God ordained. Ecclesiastes 3 talks about to everything there's a season, there's a purpose for everything. That sofa you're sitting on, this table, this camera, everything has a purpose.
Yep.
But there's a time and a season for every purpose.
Come on.
And we're walking in it right now. You're walking in it. It was time for you to walk in it. You know, after 9 years, you're still walking in it. You're still pushing.
Let's keep going.
You're a father. You're a husband. You know what I mean? And it's not going to stop. It's going to keep getting bigger and better. And I decree and declare right now, sitting here with you, that it's going to be bigger. It's going to be better. It's going to do far
Same with
greater.
you.
I believe it and I receive it. So he's going to do far greater things than you, than he did in your father and in your father's generation, in your father's era. And you're going to touch so many people. And I believe that together we'll be able to do it as well. So I'm walking.
You and I both.
Yeah. We're in each other's corner, man. And I'm here.
Sink or swim.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna swim.
I'm swimming, baby.
Come on. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. Thank y'all for listening, watching. If you want to know more about his ministry and connect with him, where can they find you?
Man, you can find me on at Mitch Summerfield and on IG. Facebook is the same thing. www.wogfc.org. That's our website. So, we're here.
Come on. Yeah. Awesome. All right. God bless you. Your best days are right in front of you.
Absolutely.